Kick things off, plenty of utility, some Young and Chopper, and they're not waiting around. They're getting straight into the action here, jumping with his back and still gets the headshot onto Keto. Xantares at the back of the site gets bulldozed by Dexter. And now Tabson is doing a bit of damage, but he's been shut down by some Young. It's on Searson at range with the USP, trying desperately to tap him for some headshots, but missing and getting punished.
This map.
Searson has been winged with his scout, misses the second shot, or at least he didn't miss, but he didn't get the frags. And Tares picks up 2 before he stuns, but Tabson is now making moves around the back. Tizian taking down Deck.
35 seconds left. The cross coming. Tizian in a prime position, but he actually goes peeking past. He doesn't realize, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Magic makes his cross and leaves Keto alone. But we've already seen some Deagle magic from him throughout the series so far. One of the main change round, and it's an instant headshot, one that's not needed. A single bullet is all he needs to close this out, and they will get themselves the fourth squad. But in the meantime, they're going aggressively pushing out long. Magic will fight for this time and time again, but he loses the battle. He was left.
It's not really covering off anything. It's allowing the CTs to actually go for a peek, and the peek is good. It does yield 1 frag before Mia comes back, a bit of damage to some Young, but more importantly, it has expended the rest of the utility that Spirit had. And Mia, through the smoke, comes out second best to the hands of Xantares. They did take their 2 B players off the site, though, to deal with that threat, and in doing so, they've both been picked off. So some Young should be able to get a bomb plant, and at that point with the AWP, anything is possible.
I think he expects them to be a little bit closer than they are and realizes that finding a kill here is going to be so important. The problem is he's allowed time for Tizian to rotate in, and while he'll take the kill nonetheless. A nice attempt, a bit of damage, but ultimately it's another round for Big, and they're starting to string them together. I'll wait until 5-1 though, Vince. That's now my line being drawn to see if Team Spirit are going to have a good... I really like the way that Big used their utility to give their players angles to take peeks. Okay, what is that from Searson? He's just ripped them a new one. They're trying to find out if he's doing. If he gets away with it, it's a huge play. If he falls, it could be the problem of the round. And interestingly, the rest of the team have actually gone onto the A site and got themselves a plant. Meanwhile, Searson's still fighting in the smoke.
Uh-oh. All of that early impact he had has been now mitigated, negated across, and now Spirit have the advantage. Maybe overstaying his welcome. The rest of Big did succumb, though, to the pressure. Tizian keeping them alive in this round, but Xantares' life has now been put out. And with that, Tizian pretty much has to save the AWP. And that is such a surprise to him. When you see 2 wallbang shots like that, like highlight reel worthy stuff from Searson, and they still lose the round, you kind of sat there scratching your head a little bit, wondering where they went wrong.
All of that was going on while we were watching them battle within the smoke. And then it does help the fact that holding off the rotation actually went very well, but he's back once again. However, Magic's now has
put into effect. He changes up his angles because he's got some support, but now Spirit looked to bulldoze and crush their way into the site. Keto at the back, couldn't really see. There were fire and flames in his eyes. The incandescence has now been dulled down with the bomb plant momentarily. 3-on-3, as the CTs all moving through from middle side. They have plenty of utility, including 2 incendiaries, a flash, and a smoke. That should be more than good enough to set themselves up for the retake, but they've lost Searson and they've lost Tizian, and it's all down to Xantares. And whereas they had plenty of utility before, now they have nothing, and he is all alone, stranded on an island, stuck with some Young, and Mia's AK's pointed in his direction, and the fire
been quiet so far. This is one of the things I've really been enjoying. They're using HEs to actually get across mid. Magic's, well, Tizian's blind eventually. I guess it kind of works out, although the flash might have just been a little bit too late. Tabson re-aggressing, takes control of the pit, and he has Searson alongside him, who snaps to the edge of the smoke. Leaves some Young dead on the floor, and Dexter can't really help out his teammate, leaving Chopper completely isolated. Mia, though, quickly responds as he just runs down mid. Oh no, what just happened from Tabson?
They still have some utility, including a molly that's just been tossed out. Can't see Searson stop the bomb plant. He's not even going to attempt to. He wants to keep himself stealthy, incognito, so he can pounce in. He nearly lines him up for 2 for 1, but he does get put down by Dexter, who then gets finished off by Keto. My God, I thought Searson had just pulled off the collateral of dreams, but instead, it will be Big taking the round all the same.
a little bit close for comfort on both parts. Like Team Spirit definitely could have had that round, and well, we could have showed up just yet.
Yeah, it has been the same story, but just reversed. Oh, Magic, hello. I was waiting for him to have his impact, and there we have it. 2 massive entries. Just runs out alone. 1 flashbang's all he needs, and AK headshots delivered back to back. Chopper, he'll chime in. Big's economy in the bin. They have to pretty much hold on to this. I think Tizian may be expecting that a player was pushing him quickly, but the angle didn't help him out with that HE. And now CSGO just desperately trying to hold on to his AWP. He's done a good job so far. There's another pick onto Dexter. 3 more to go.
They can somehow catch him up. He is very much in the open. Timing could be against him, but never mind. Gets it perfectly onto Young, and he's made this very, very costly indeed. It will be a 5th round, and of course, no doubt, he is one to watch for the future. The problem is, you lose someone like that. Oh, what a sick shot, though, from CSGO. They keep doing that. I keep trying to mention it, and then something happens. They throw the HEs instead of a smoke to allow the cross, and then it allows CSGO.
I'd be right alongside any of that faith. He has been an absolute monster these last 6 to 12 months, but have been tossed towards the site now. 2 flashes still at their disposal. 30 seconds. Chopper tries to rummage around the CT side, desperately to win the round. But with his death, it leaves Magic's all alone. He gets tagged from CSGO and then pummeled by Tab of middle and force them to quickly wrap 3 of these players out there. And they can get up close before Xantares can see them, but Xantares, bit of labored spray, they've both gone down. Tabson has to try and salvage this quickly while the rest of his teammates scamper back into position. He can soften a couple of these targets, that could be good enough, but the bomb's already crossed, so there'll be no freebies. You know, free meal here for Tabson. He's gonna have to pay with it in blood, and Magic's will put him down. And with the life of Tabson being taken away, I doubt that Big go for this. They will have to save. And that just came out of nowhere, Tom. You expect Xantares to land those 2 kills every day of the week.
Impactful kill from him, and well, CSGO just going to hold on to his AWP. You definitely don't want that going missing for the next couple of rounds. 18.
Yeah, for the longest time, B was basically a fortress. It was mainly just an A-hit simulating CSGO. As good as he's been, does connect the shot, but he does also get picked on both sides of the teams. So much time still available to Spirit, and Magic's again taking the head of Tabson. Tizian did spot the shoulder peak of Chopper. If he overextends and falls down, that could be the round that goes with him, and indeed he shall. Xantares now, he's going to have the luxury of those smokes keeping him safe from one of these 2 angles, and now he won't get peeked from Catwalk either, so he can use himself as that pivot point for Keto. Chopper's been found and fragged, but unless Xantares can get a kill quickly, no one's home. Magic's still alive at the back of the site, going to be able to print out some frags and print out the round in moments, and indeed he will. Xantares goes. That's been a little bit disappointing, but on the CT side, a very different static approach could be the cure and give him tons more opportunities for frags. Mia will be leading the charge towards the site itself, turning into the entry fragger, but it's Magic that picks up the first. Lots of damage has been inflicted towards him. Mia runs out of ammunition and is picked off as well, but Magic does come to the call of his fallen teammate. It is Big, though, that are holding the line.
For all the things we've sort of been joking about throughout this match, we've got second half Tabs and we've got T-sides on Tares both coming up at exactly the same time.
Quite a bit. That HE chunks the HP bars of Keto and Xantares. And now there's more CTs have joined the fray. CSGO, though, perforates the head of Mia through the smoke, and Xantares getting himself 1. They're still yet to get the bomb planted down, but that will come in a few moments' time. And it's been a valiant attempt, and actually, never mind that. Not just valiant, but it's actually potentially going to be a successful attempt. Because it's gone down to a 2-on-1. Keto's been scouted down by Dexter. And Young is still alive with his 2 frags. And CSGO, the hero of the first half, that has to once again get Big out of a horrible situation. The bomb's not even planted for him either. And they do have a kit, but it's not even required. They get the full 10-second defuse, and Spirit's forced by has crushed Big again. Spirit basically dug themselves back in with some crazy 1Ds from Sundai Young. Will they be on the receiving end? Dexter. Now Chopper, who's done a lot of damage with his grenades, just has to stay alive. Even if they get the plant down big, it's not as if they can have a great buy into the next round. Just make sure you play together as one united force and get this round done cleanly. They're still on the site posted up with Zentaris going for these dry peaks with the Deagle. They're all clumped together, and Zentaris has put down 2 Deagle frags. It seems like they will live by the Deag, but die by it too. It's not done just yet. The deal has not been signed fully, but they have cashed in with frags, and now that Galil goes into the hands of Zentaris, who's looking to spray them back in, and Dexter's AWP is all that remains. Certainly not tailor-made for these kind of positions. The time is too low. He's gonna die. They pick up the AWP, and big incendiary. But they are being pincered through, and Incendiary, unfortunately, was over on A. It wasn't on the B side of the map. Mia, though, does stand up for one. But both the pieces of B have fallen down, and this is where you're eyeing up for a save. This is where you just need to hold on to what little
can afford to lose an extra weapon here, and him being perfectly healthy, they're actually going to just play it safe. I'm surprised. They'll allow Spirit to get away with some weaponry.
3 players waiting to burst out there past the grenades. They peek a little bit prematurely just to catch her off the CTs, but Magic's still alive on Gandalf, trying to survive desperately, tosses him the Molotov. 13 HP left for him and 36 on Dexter. Big still yet to get on the side, but now they're brute force their way on there. And Incendiary to greet them hasn't fully extended and won't deter the bomb plant. The 3 players, no 4.
Coming from behind, the bomb won't be planted for him, so he needs his teammates to buy some time, and they're doing just that. Here comes the peek, but he misses his shot, and actually Dexter's still reloading. He goes for the re-peek, and Searson gets away with just 1 HP. Tizian, in the meantime, will hold the line, and he ends up getting a triple kill.
With his position now, this has a sell-by date on it because he's about to get flanked from lower tunnels. He still gets 1, though, before getting fragged down by Keto. Zentaris and Keto both chime in for 2 apiece, and now Spirit trailed by a player.
They tried something very audacious. I'm surprised Chopper even gets a kill in that round with the wraparound coming through tunnels. Dexter, very low. Flashbang is going to be enough for Searson to garner his 28th kill of the game, and Sundai Young, a real chance in this round. Sure, Keto's a little bit low, but he doesn't have a kit, and likelihood is we'll just try and save the rifle. It's been 2 rounds back-to-back now that Spirit have come into things with severe limitations, weaponry not there, and sure, they're making these rounds costly, but
touching on that these limited buys where they are getting weapons but not much utility, they're not getting double AWPs. It hasn't been working for them.
It's actually the rest of the team that are going to do that instead. Zontares ready and waiting for the peak, but Magix is just so crisp with that Deagle. He's going to start things off, gain a rifle. Dexter there with the scout, but it's Sundai Young alongside him. Keto with a prominent trade and will continue to push Dexter in no man's land, but somehow still manages to take one with him. He's given his team a chance for sure, but with this man still standing, who knows what's going to happen.
It is the Grim Reaper on the server still. And he comes wearing a big jersey. Tabson, labored spray, finally gets it on the second time of asking. Certainty, they're running out of time. They have to hit A, that much is clear. Molly and Smoke for the cross. They couldn't get a double down. And Searson, uncharacteristic miss, and that cost them. That cost them everything. Magic's with a double spray.
Deagle and a retrieved AK-47. And now they get that double up. You mentioned it. And there is Dexter. He's been quiet. There's no doubt about it. It's not been his map so far, but it isn't done just yet. Now he's going to kick things off. The money still very good for Big. They can buy in the next round anyway. And the Molotov forces Chopper forward. Sure, there was a flash behind it, but that's an easy kill for Searson.
The 30 bomb has been connected, but so has Mia. They line up. Dexter nearly gets the 2 for 1. He's done enough. The call will come through that there are more adversaries making their way up long. And the grenade touches down onto Tizian. Zentares tickling the bomb, draws out the CTs into the open, but be careful what you wish for, because now he's down to a 3rd HP, and that 3rd becomes 0. Spirit going.
If somehow this did slip away, you just have to sort of sit there and think, what more could this man have done? And Magix.
Yeah, that's a really good point to highlight. Now, they do have tons of flashes, which can mitigate some of those problems, but it is very difficult, especially when you've just lost Chopper. That makes Long that little bit more tentative. It forces Magix to hold his position, and now Dexter, who desperately would love to have a molly, would love to have a smoke right now, just has to play off this flashbang. Up he comes. That's the bomb down first. He has another flashbang. Bounces it off the wall. Another peek could be coming in. Gandalf is clear, but Magix has it locked down. Tabson now showing his hand, but he's the last player left on 1 HP, and he gets finished off. I thought he's slow for the most part. They have sped it up here and there. But it's another slow hit, and that walks into the arms of Dexter. Sirison, though, makes sure that he won't be getting two. And the advantage does fall the way of Big. All three of Spirit moving together up middle. I think they're going to have one player going long and the other two on catwalk post-plant.
The question is, again, is this worth the fight? They need a kill relatively quickly. A 3 versus 4 situation is not ideal, and walking into the crosshair of Citizen has been pretty much a death wish. This time, though, it's Tizian to take the peak. Tabson tapping away, but not quite able to find anything. It doesn't matter. He's got the AWP to support him. And I think Mir realizes...
Plus, it's the AK, which is such a massively beneficial weapon on the CT side. Looks like he will survive, though. No one wanted to try and trade off against him. And again, Big's against some of the best teams on the planet. How does Spirit, a relatively new lineup, deal with it? While Magix decides, I'm going to just hold down left click, and you're all going to die. Double spray through the smoke, and Dexter will survive. Chopper now in a position to maybe put this round and regulation to bed. Searson, though, has been such a monster on this map. There's one. He needs to pull off the 1v5 to take all of the chips home. He has a bit of time to play with. Can hear Sundai Young making moves up, but misses the shot, and that's going to cost him. We head to overtime.
No worries about money anymore, so the AWP will come in. And actually, a second for Sum Young. Now, they've been spotted, but what a shot from Keto.
You in terms of rounds. So, early on, Spirit losing the first player and second, and make that 3. Opening picks, Spirit are stumbling. Magix and Sundai Young, they're only 2 remaining players, and make that just Magix. Now, he has been a man on fire, and that's why. Look at his aim. Just carves out a path through 2 heads and nearly takes down Tabson. Yeah, and having that faith as well, because yesterday, let's be honest, he didn't have a great performance overall. He was a little bit off. So for him to come back and show us what he's really, truly all about is massive. But Sundai Young, been a bit under the radar, decides it's his turn to take control. It's his turn to lock it down. And that AWP is on point. 4 kills go his way, and Dexter picks up the rest. Teams
try and peek into long. Lots of counter utility expended, and he's stuck in the Molotov. In fact, the smoke only extinguishes half of it.
Taking lead now. But the rest of Big have got to put that to the back of their mind and get their eyes on the mission at hand. They've got one through Xantares, but they've lost this
across this. It definitely doesn't look comfortable. In fact, the nade's going to land on both of them. It's perfect, but somehow Xantares still manages to get a pick.
Yeah, but they've stalled for so long that at this point, they know exactly what's coming up. The second that first smoke goes down...
Here we go. A complete change of pace. A quick push through middle. And actually, Chopper's got very far. It seems like they've been given this almost for free. A kill coming in onto Tabson has definitely made things problematic. And Chopper, he's just being patient. He spots the AWP. That's an easy kill. I don't know if they knew how far they got, but they are falling apart. It's left to Xantares once again, and this time he gets nothing. Searson, well, he can go for this. Money's not an issue. But at the same time, a 1v5, he's been fantastic, but this might be a little bit much to ask.
Yeah, he just had no hope. And although Chopper got...
And while double AWPs invested, Keto, he's done well with the secondary boost over the top, and see you later, Magic.
Especially with a low Chopper, especially as they're all together, there's going to be no secondary unit to on catwalk. It's a massacre. It's a complete and utter massacre. They played this perfectly, Big. Absolutely perfectly. And that's a confidence builder.
The extra money, 16k MR3. But that is one hell of a shot. Mir shows a pixel to...
Yielded a lot of success, but now they're going to be smoking back out again, looking to isolate both Keto and Xantares from the rest of the pack. But Keto, who's had a very slow start to Dust 2, is now picking up that slack, and he's making sure that he puts his team in a good position. Xantares may go down, but a lot of damage is inflicted. However, 2 entries back-to-back open up the B site, and although Magix and Chopper are low, a post-plant means that it's very doable for them to take their spot in the grand finals.
made it possible. The peek from Sum Young gets rid of Tabson. It gives them a man advantage in a round that was just looking to slip away from them. Searson and Tizian coming from opposite angles. They've expected the peek, and now it's left onto the man with 36 kills to try and close this out. He forces an angle from Sum Young, who's burning to his death, but he can't quite land the shot.